This is a Gatto Consulting production. How to choose strategically. Strategy is not easy, and strategic choices can be very hard to make, especially if there are conflicting options. But you could also be in the presence of a problem to solve or having to decide about an opportunity without a clear alternative. This method works too, but because you need an option for this framework, all you have to do is consider doing nothing, or maintaining the status quo, as a rival possibility. Sometimes you could be in the presence of two opposing courses of action and a divided team, which you must bring together towards a bold choice. That's where the choosing strategically framework comes in. Credit where it's due. The framework, choosing strategically, is an adaptation of the playbook Reverse Engineering Strategic Options developed by Roger Martin, one of the greatest strategic minds of our time. Roger described it in Playing to Win, a book he wrote with A.G. Lafley, ex-chairman and CEO of Procter & Gamble. I will also introduce some complementary techniques and present it in 3 steps for making conflicting strategic decisions. Step 1. Start with clarifying the strategic options. Start with where to play. Make sure the options are crystal clear in terms of at least 2 of the key strategic decisions: products and segments, and geographies. How will you generate more customers or have your customers buy more of your products? And how to win. In terms of generic strategy, are you a cost leader, differentiator, or do you focus on a niche? And how does that apply to these strategic options? What is the competitive advantage or advantages you are building upon? And the core competencies, skills, and critical resources you have or need to support it. Don't just think about playing along, but winning. For this step, bring in the champions. Ask the skeptics to hold tight. Have the champions propose their ideas clearly and explain and estimate the potential they see. The job of the consultant here is to make sure each option is posed in a clear, strategic way. But can we come up with an even better option?
No lie, just know I chose my own fate. I drove by the fork in the road and went straight.
Yes, with integrative thinking. It's particularly helpful when you have two opposing options, like direct sales versus broker network, or building capacity versus outsourcing. Integrative thinking forces you to look at things differently. It compels you to dissect opposing views in a certain way to create a third better choice. This framework can literally be a shortcut to make a strategic choice, but also to make other important decisions in life. Integrative thinking has been championed by Roger Martin and is explained in Creating Great Choices, a book he wrote with Jennifer Reel, ideal partner and chief strategy officer, and Roger's colleague at the Rotman School of Management. They have been teaching it to students and corporations for over a decade now. The process starts by clearly defining the problem to solve. The methodology then goes on to clarifying what the options are and making them even more extreme so that they stand out. We will also look at the different benefits each option brings to the key stakeholders. Next, we'll examine the models in different ways, breaking them down, exploring differences and similarities, and identifying their most valuable elements. We'll also question the models, their elements of tension, their core assumptions. Do they really accomplish what they're supposed to do? After breaking down the models, we'll explore 3 pathways or more for integrating the models applying different techniques, using each model's best options, focusing on one of them and overcoming its limitations, and seeing if there are different solutions for different parts of the problem. The result should be a better option. You can choose to pursue it as the sole option, getting rid of the others, or add it to the previous choices if you still have skeptics. But in any case, you should now move to step 2 of the overall framework. Step 2. Challenge the options. Bring in the skeptics. Ask, what would it take for the skeptic to accept this possibility as a good one? It could be a price level versus a certain cost level. It could be a minimum market share in a certain sized market, or other conditions. Make sure the skeptics speak their mind. People tend to be, skeptic about this process. They think the skeptics will be unreasonable. But if there are conflicting options, the skeptics will be on both sides of the aisle. And game theory shows that they will not be unrealistic in their conditions if they don't want the opposite to happen to them. Besides guaranteeing that the skeptics pose their objections, the role of the facilitator here is to make sure that the conversations are kept at a high level. As consultants, we also have a checklist of things that must be thought through when considering strategic choices. First, are the major industry forces being taken into account? Consumers, suppliers, substitute products, and barriers to entry. And what is the evolutionary state of the industry versus the disruption you might be causing? Second, how do you intend to make money? What is your total addressable market, and what are your target segments? How big are they, and how are they evolving? What's the market share that you can seize? What will you do to cause customers to switch to you? What's your value proposition, or the willingness to pay of your potential customers versus your costs? And have you given any consideration to distribution channels? Which competitive advantage are you tapping into? Are you reinforcing one that you have, or do you need to create a new one? And what does that mean in terms of critical skills and resources? Will your competitors stand still? Probably not. And we will finally ask three very important questions. What's the ROI? We'll help you calculate it, but remember, any initiative that is strategic should have an ROI calculation, and the results should be significant. Is it feasible? Do you have or can you gather the resources needed, including your own people? How disruptive or distracting could be the impact to the core business? And how does it fit in and reinforce your strategic fit and strategic statement? At the end of step 2, if many conditions have been identified, a group of people should pare them down to the most important and crucial. Include skeptics in that group. The facilitator's role is to encourage the lesser objections to be let go while keeping the skeptics happy. Step 3. At this stage, we will arrange a group of people for each alternative led by its bigger skeptic to design a test for each of the main conditions identified before. And then, conduct the tests. Start by testing the hardest to buy in condition as defined by the skeptic. If that does not hold, the option should be abandoned. If it does, test the second hardest condition, and so on. Keep everyone, including the skeptics, abreast of the tests as they are conducted. At this point, the process should have revealed the best option. But if for any reason a couple of possibilities pass their tests, yet you must only choose one, go back to ROI, feasibility, and strategic fit. ROI in particular should be a tipping point and help you make your choice. This is how you come to a clear, difficult decision while bringing your team together. Go for it. Before we go, a reminder to go to the toolset page of our website. It has all the tools that support this video and will allow you to implement the framework. www.strategyforaction.com/toolset. This is a Gato Consulting production. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. There are plenty of new videos coming up.